Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Newage Legendary Heroes. Now they're calling this Multiverse number 56B Behemoth, and for those of you who don't know, it is their take on a shattered glass version of a Generation 1 sludge figure. So what we're going to do with the video, we're going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes. I'm going to show you the entire contents of the packaging because I've literally just took him out of the box. We can see how he looks and fares compared to the original Generation 1 sludge. We can see how he looks and fares up against one of the original versions of this particular mold. That is the cartoon version of him, and we've got a few other third-party figures and indeed a shattered glass Grimlock as well, which we can see what he looks like and displays with them. So as I start to pop these away, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to this channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now please, and also to thank ShowZ, because that's the online store in which I purchased this from. So to be honest, he comes in robot mode. Sorry, he doesn't, he comes in alternate mode, but for the video I've transformed him just to make it a little bit different. So he comes packaged like this in this box. I don't know if you can see it all actually on the side. I'm gonna have to lift it up. So it's like that, and as I say, because he's a shattered glass character, they're calling him Behemoth, whereas just the normal version of him was called Rhodosaurus. And also you may be wondering why they just can't call him Sludge, and because he's a transforming figure, he's not licensed by Hasbro or Takara, so they can't use the official names. Now you can see there that the color scheme is a bit wacky, and I just love shattered glass themes and concepts in general, so this is going to be really interesting. So he comes, as I say, like that, packaged in his alternate mode inside a plastic bubble. I'm going to probably just turn that around. In fact, no, let's turn that there for now. Bring the figure in. He's got some ridiculously tough instructions to decipher, but I've already done a transformation process video for the original mold, so I'll upload that separately. What I like about this is it looks like they've actually gone for some different ones and not just printed out the same. And the abundance of accessories that he comes with are all of these. So let's have a look at everything. And he also looks like he's got a few more things than what the original had, like a sword, because I'm sure the original one didn't have a sword. But there is the lovely translucent sword. That looks beautiful. We've got two sets of hands. There's always a minimum of two sets of hands, to be fair. There's his blaster, and then if you're wondering what these are leg guards for the Newage take on Grimlock. So let's move them out of the way. I'm going to go with the closed fists purely because we can then hold his weapons. So these are on a separate sprue. And the good thing about this is, for those of you who don't know or aren't aware, that you can still transform in between each mode with the fists in place as well. So when you put the fists on, you can already see that we're going to have wrist articulation. So before we start to put all of the accessories in his hands, etc., let me just show you how articulate this figure is and how good he looks. The translucent orange there in the chest is looking amazing. The head sculpt is looking just really original, just like something I've never seen before. It will spin all the way around. It can bob up and down as well, so it can literally look all the way up. You can see it's on a mushroom peg, so it can look all the way up. It can look a little bit down as well, which is great. Now if you move these sort of wings behind him and out of the way, you've got full sort of unrestricted access to spin that all the way around. That's both sides, but obviously if that's there, you're not going to be able to do it. You can take them both out to the sides. You've got the T, you've got a swivel just at the top of the elbow, you've got bicep flexion, like a double bicep flexion. You can see that because of course this is, well, in fact it's not, this is going to hide, this doesn't double up as a dinosaur leg at all. It's one of the very clever parts of the engineering on this figure. You've also got a waist swivel, you've got an ab crunch as well. You can see the legs are completely still, so you've got that added in. This is it a hip skirt? Can I remember? No, it's not a hip skirt, but what it does is, look, the whole part of it rolls up on that half circle there, so you can kick up way past the point of horizontal, and you can kick pretty much again all the way back. This is a skirt though at the back by the looks of it, is it? Yep, there you go, that's the skirt. So that'll lift up, so you can you go full splits? I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah, past full splits, then with your knee bend, which again is huge, and it's clever as well because it doesn't leave massive gaping holes with your knee bend, and you've got your ankle tilt and rock as well. So you can see what I mean about like incredibly articulate figure, to be honest, right? Because there's so many comparisons and things I want to show you with this. I think first and foremost, if I bring in so this is the comic, no it's not, this is the cartoon version of this figure. In Newage are very clever, like Hasbro, like Takara and every other company that makes Transformers. They get great use out of their molds, so they do exactly this. They redeco them, they recolor them, and they even use color schemes that, you know, Hasbro and Takara haven't actually thought about yet. I'm popping both of the weapons in his hands. That looks spectacular. I could put the open hands in as well, and you can see that there's even going to be that would give you wrist articulation and flexion there as well. Let's make space for the original G1, or of course this was a Diaclone figure before, but what really surprised me when I got the first one is that these are obviously classed as legend scale, which usually means that they'd be smaller like this, which is New Age's take on Optimus Prime. But what it actually really does, apologies for the glare there, reflection, is they scale pretty much perfectly as to how these figures would have scaled in the cartoon. So obviously the Dinobots in the cartoon are very, very big. That is why they are very, very big in these figures. And as you can see, it works really, really well. So if I bring in a couple of other third-party figures, shall we say, just to give you an idea of the size, that is Magic Square, and that is Iron Factory. So if this doesn't mean pretty much anything to you because you don't collect third party, in fact I've got another one here. That's Mechanic Studios, sorry, Chaos Sandstorm, and then funnily enough, one other figure that I definitely need to bring in, just seeing this is Freya. So this is again New Age's take on a swoop figure. And I think, to be fair, I love the Swoop. It's one of my favourite figures from New Age. But you've got an idea, because Swoop's a little bit smaller, he scales pretty well with that. But if this is making no sense to you because you've never collected or seen third-party figures, let's do some ones that hopefully you'll have seen before. So let's bring in some core class figures. So let's go with modern day figures to give you an idea. So there's a core class figure. While we're going with crazy colour schemes, there's a deluxe class figure, which I'm sure you can see there. Let me see what else we've got. They're all dotted everywhere at the moment. I need to bring in G1 Optimus Prime. If you collect Generation 1 figures, Generation 1 Bumblebee, to give you an idea of the scale with that. And again, you could go a bit bigger, but there's no point. It's just a bit smaller than a deluxe figure. So let's move all of these out of the way and just see what else we can do very quickly with him. So last couple of comparisons then. So this is a smaller Voyager class figure. It's not much bigger, but if you went and get I suppose a normal sort of standard height Voyager, you can see that that's just loads bigger. And then just for a little bit of fun, there is a leader class. I said there's no point putting one in because he's not going to fit, but I thought I would do because obviously he's a Dinobot. So this hopefully gives you at least a good idea of the scale of these figures. So they are dubbed as mini masterpieces. Don't get me wrong, you'll pay a bit of a premium in the price. This is definitely anywhere near a deluxe price figure. Oh, one more, there you go. Earthspark Megatron. Just again, last sort of size comparison. So as I was saying, you know, you do pay that bit of premium for the products that you get, but the same as with that Ironhide as an example, you pay a little bit more for the transformation and for the articulation. So let's have a look at, I suppose, the details on the side. There is some more translucent plastic there, and to be fair, the legs are pretty well all tucked in, much better than I suppose some of the previous versions of the Dinobots, which obviously like Grimlock, that's why they come with the leg guards. But I genuinely think there's not much more to say about the robot mode. It does look great. We're going to come back and have a look at him in his alternate mode now and see how that looks, because I think with that color scheme it's going to look even wackier. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, he's in his alternate mode. Apologies for no transformation process on this video. That is because it is separately uploaded as a tutorial, because it is really intricate and indeed quite long-winded. Now, one of the best things I suppose about this alternate mode is just how articulate it is. And I think you can pretty much see that straight away by the neck. So you've got 1, 2, you know, you can swivel it in 2 different places. The jaw opens and closes. The legs, so each of the legs have got articulation at the top, at the ankles, at the toes. This one's got even more so at the ankle, more of a swing there. The tail again itself has got 1, 2, 3 sort of swings in articulation. It really is a great looking alternate mode. Unlike the original cartoon version, it doesn't have the googly eyes, and they've gone with this little bit, I suppose, I don't even know what to call it. I suppose just like a spike on the front of his head, which I'm sure you'll agree does look good with regards to the original. And again, this did surprise me in the first video I did on these. It's actually a little bit, it's bigger as in height, but it's about the same length, and that's what Newage tend to do really well. They tend to hide excuse me, everything away. Incredibly clever, because I will just quickly show you this, and I suppose refer you to the transformation process, because it is clever. That was the robot arms in there. So whereas of course with this one, originally everything is there and you can see it, whereas with this one, the robot arms are in fact, as you can see, completely hidden away, and the other limbs are all completely separate to it. Now I'm probably not going to be able to close that back up now I've done that, but let's fold them over and hope I can. Yeah, there we go. I just think because that's really clever. As I say, the main reason for not putting it in this video is to keep the length of the video down. It's got about 60 steps all in total by the time you've turned it all around and got it going. But it is very, very clever. So on the same hand, I do want you to see it, but again, watch it at your own leisure and you don't have to see it in the full review. Let's get rid of the box because it just keeps reflecting. What we can do then is we can have a quick look at some mainstream figures, size comparisons. So drag strips are huge deluxe. I suppose that's quite a relevant deluxe figure. That's pure fluke, by the way. It's just that that's been there for ages, and in fact, if that's there, we might as well bring this in. And Grimlock looks tiny compared to it. It really does. So this is obviously a Newage figure as well, shattered glass version. I can't remember his actual shattered glass name, to be fair, but once again, I'm going to refer to him as the Hasbro version. Mini bots, as in G1 mini bots, completely loads bigger. Masterpiece figure again, loads bigger. Just again trying to give you as many ideas of the size of this figure. As I say, there's no accessories really with him to put in this particular alternate mode. Everything is tucked away relatively neat all underneath. There's a couple of tiny little gaps, but that's me being overly picky, because obviously it is exactly on the underside, and I do with every figure. If there's something, you know, at the bottom, it doesn't really matter, because no one's ever going to display a figure like that. So there's nothing ever going to be wrong with that, in all honesty. I've got, just because he's here and I'm doing videos at the same time, another masterpiece figure. That's an ex-Transbots masterpiece sort of scale punch, counter punch. So again, it's just showing you that this is the Legends sort of scale. It's nowhere near as big as Masterpiece, but it does have Masterpiece articulation. Right, to be honest, there's not much more to show you about this. I do think it's great. I think the robot mode obviously wins. I think the colour scheme on it is spectacular. But there you go. Just let me know what you think of him in the comments. Another great idea, another brilliant colour scheme. This is Legendary Heroes from Newage. This is Monster Behemoth. Let me know what you think of him in the comments, guys. Take care.